Hi students, in today's class I would like to explain about wired LANs IEEE standards. So in the last video already we discussed about the different layers protocols. Those are nothing but random access protocols and the channelized protocols and the uh, gate level protocols. So in this so already we discussed different techniques, that is the channelization techniques. Those are nothing but FDMA and the TDMA and CDMA. So in today's class we will discuss different types of wired LAN networks, wired LANs, wired LANs. So that wired LANs, it is also called as the Ethernet. Ethernet is a IEEE standard. So this IEEE standards. So in 1985, the Computer Society of the IEEE started a project. So that project is called as Project 802. So it set the 802 project sets the standards to enable intercommunication among the equipment from a variety of manufacturers. So this project is a way of specifying functions of the physical layer and the data link layer of major LAN protocols. So in this section we have to discuss how the IEEE standards will be belongs to data link layer and the physical layer. So here the relationship of the 802 standard to the TCP/IP protocol. So that will be shown in next diagram. So this IEEE has subdivided the data link layer into two sublayers. So one is the logical link control and another one is medium access control. So this IEEE has also created several physical standards for different LAN protocols. So we'll see the diagram. So this is the IEEE standard for a LAN network. So here the LLC is logical link control and the MAC is the full form of medium access control. So here we are above the data link layer we have the upper layer, and below the data link layer we have the physical layer. So after the physical layer we have the transmission medium. So this is called OSI or internet model, and this is the IEEE standard Ethernet. IEEE standard. So in this also, in IEEE standard Ethernet also we are having the upper layers and the LLC, that is logical link control, and Ethernet MAC. MAC will be divided into different types, that is Ethernet MAC and the token ring MAC and the token bus MAC. So this Ethernet physical layers may also have token ring physical layer and the token bus physical layer. So we have the transmission medium in also Ethernet layer. So here we will discuss one by one the logical link control. In this we said that the data link control handles framing, flow control and the error control. So in IEEE project 802, flow control, error control and the part of the framing duties are, so it will be collected into one sublayer, so called the logical link control. So here the LLC function is so it has to collect that uh, different functions, that is the flow control, error control and the framing. So that those are the duties of this sublayer. So that sublayer is called it as the logical link control. So and the next one medium access control MAC. So it is earlier we discussed in multiple access methods. So it is including random access and the controlled access and the channelization, and the IEEE project 802 has created a sublayer called medium access control. So this defines a specific access method for each LAN. So this MAC will be assigns a specific defined method for each layer present within the MAC, that is either by Ethernet or token ring or token bus. So next one is Ethernet evolution. So the Ethernet LAN was developed in the 1970s by Robert Metcalfe and David Bogus. So since it has gone through 4 generations, that is standard Ethernet and the fast Ethernet and the gigabit Ethernet and the 10 gigabit Ethernet. So here we have different types of Ethernet. One is the standard Ethernet and fast Ethernet. The standard Ethernet, the speed of the standard Ethernet is 10 Mbps, and fast Ethernet 100 Mbps, and the gigabit Ethernet 1 Gbps, and the uh, 10 gigabit Ethernet 10 Gbps. So those are shown in this figure. So we have different types of Ethernet. So the IEEE 802.3 is called as the Ethernet, and the IEEE 802.4 is called as the token bus, and the IEEE 802.5 is called as a token ring buses. So we have the different characteristics for different types of Ethernet. So for the standard Ethernet, the medium is so it is 10 base 5. The medium for 10 base 5 is thick coaxial cable, and for the 10 base 2 is thin coaxial cable. For the 10 base T it is 2 UTP, and for 10 base F it is a 2 fiber cable. So those are the medium used for different types of Ethernet. And the second one is a maximum length of these different types of Ethernet is so for 10 base 5 it is 500 meter, and the 10 base 2 it is 185 meters, so approximately 200 meters. For 10 base T it is 100 meters, and the 10 base F it is 2000 meters. And the line encoding for different types of Ethernets are in 10 base 5 we have to use Manchester. For 10 base 2 or 10 base T or 10 base F, for all we have to use the um, Manchester as the line encoding to perform all its functions. So next one, it is standard Ethernet. So this standard Ethernet we referring the original Ethernet technology. It was with the data rate of 10 Mbps is called standard Ethernet. So if you are having the speed, the data rate of the device is 10 Mbps, so you can call it as the standard Ethernet. So these characteristics of Ethernet provides a connectionless service, which means each frame sent is independent of the previous or next frame. So the original Ethernet was created in 1976 at Xerox Palo Alto Research Center. So in short form we can call it as a PARC. Since then it has gone through 4 generations. So we briefly discuss standard or traditional Ethernet. So in this section, so those are the topics related to these standard Ethernet are MAC sublayer and the physical layer. So the frame, so we have different Ethernet evolutions through 4 generations. That is the Ethernet evolution. We have the standard and the fast gigabit, 10 gigabit Ethernet, and 10 Mbps Ethernet, and fast Ethernet. The speed of the fast Ethernet is 100 Mbps, and the fast of the gigabit Ethernet is 1 Gbps, and the fast of the 10 gigabit Ethernet is 10 Gbps. 10 Gbps. So we have the MAC frame, that is the frame format for this Ethernet. So we have the preamble and the SFD. So the frame format of the standard Ethernet is, so in the preamble we have 56 bits of alternating ones and zeros, and SFD start frame delimiter flag. So this may consist the data 10101011. So in this each and every function we will see what is the function of preamble and the SFD, and what is the meaning of destination address and the source address, length or type, and data and the padding and the CRC. So here the preamble, this field contains 7 bytes, that is in bits 56 bits of alternating zeros and ones, so that alert the receiving system to the coming frame and enable it to synchronize its clock if it's out of synchronization. So the pattern provides only an alert and a timing pulse. So these are all the function of the preamble is it provides only an alert and timing pulse. So next one, SFD, that is start frame delimiter. So this field, so 1 byte, that is 10101011. So these are the signals, the beginning of the frame. So the SFD wants the station or stations that is the last chance for synchronization. That means last 2 bits are here, 2 ones. So and it will alert the receiver that the next field is the destination address. So the destination address is, so this field has 6 bytes, that is the 48 bits. So and contains the link layer address of the destination station to receive the packet. So it contains the link layer address of the destination station or stations that those are able to receive the packet. And next one is source address. So this field also 6 bits, 6 bytes, that is 48 in terms of bits, 48 bits, and contains the link layer address of the sender of the packet. So this field is contains the link layer address of the sender of the packet. And the next one is length or type. So the field defines the upper layer protocol whose packet is encapsulated in the frame. So this will be defines the upper layer protocol whose packet is encapsulated in the frame. So next one, data. So this field carries data encapsulated from the upper layer protocols. So this field carries the data encapsulated from the upper layer protocols. It is a minimum of 46 and the maximum of 1500 bytes. So next one, CRC. So that CRC is nothing but cyclic redundancy check. So this last field contains error detection information. So in this case you have to use CRC32. So this CRC is calculated over the address types and the data field. So if the receiver calculates the CRC and finds that is not 0, so corruption in transmission. So if that correction in transmission, so definitely discards the frame. So that is the frame format of standard Ethernet, that is 802.3 MAC frame, 803.3 MAC frame. So next one, minimum and maximum lengths, that is the frame length of the device. So at Ethernet frame, so it needs to have minimum length of 512 bits or 64 bytes. So the minimum length of data from the upper layer is, so that it is, we have the 64 bits or 64 bytes. So that will be, if you remove 18 bytes from that, so the resultant is 46 bytes. So the standard frame defines the maximum length of a frame, so without preamble and the SFD, so that is the start frame delimiter. So by combining these two limiter, we get 1518 bytes. So the maximum frame length is 12,114 bits, or 1518 bytes, or the minimum frame length is 512 bits, or 64 bytes. So the standard defines the maximum length of frame without preamble and SFD as 1518 bytes. So the maximum length of the payload is 1500 bytes. 1500 bytes. So next one, addressing. So the Ethernet, the example for the Ethernet addressing in hexadecimal notation is 601020124B. So that is equal to, in terms of bytes, it is 6 bytes. So that may consist 12 hexa digits, that is equal in terms of 48 bits. So each station on a Ethernet network has its own network interface card. So the NIC fits inside the station and provides the station with a link layer address. So the Ethernet address is 6 bytes, that is 48 bits, normally written in hexadecimal notation with a colon between the bytes. So for example, the following shows an Ethernet MAC address. Ethernet MAC address, so that may have a unicast or multicast or broadcast addresses. So a source address is always a unicast address. That means the frame comes from only one station. So the destination address, however, it can be unicast or multicast or broadcast. So the following figure shows how distinguish a unicast address from a multicast address. So if the least significant bit of the first byte is a destination address is 0. So the address is unicast, otherwise it is called it as a multicast. So if that unicast, so it is that starting bit or least significant bit of the first byte destination address is 0. So that is meaning of unicast addressing. So here we have a unicast and multicast. So here we have byte 1, byte 2, and so the least significant bit, that is the LSB, so should be 0 for unicast. So if maybe 1 or any type, double 1, any type, so that may be that address may be multicast or unicast. So the least significant bit of the first byte defines the type of address. So if the bit is 0, the address is unicast, otherwise it is a multicast address. So the broadcast destination address is a special case of the multicast address in which all bits are ones. So the categories of standard Ethernet is, so here the standard Ethernet, and we have common implementation. So that is in standard Ethernet we are having different types of Ethernet. One is the 10 base 5. It will be divided into mainly 4 categories. One is the 10 base 5, and another one is 10 base 2, and another one is 10 base T, and another one is 10 base F. So in 10 base 5 we have to use different medium controlling axis. Those are nothing but bus and thick coaxial, and in 10 base 2 we having bus and thin coaxial, and in 10 base T we have the star and the UTP. So in 10 base F we have to use star and the fiber as the transmission medium from one device to another device. So in we have the encoding in a standard Ethernet implementation. So the standard Ethernet defines several physical layer implementations. So those are the 4 categories already we seen. So this encoding and decoding, all standard implementations uses digital signaling baseband at 10 Mbps. So at the sender, data are converted to a digital signal using the Manchester scheme. So at the receiver, the received signal is interpreted as a Manchester and decoded into data. So here we have in Ethernet also we have to encode and the decode the data. So in the station itself we have the encoding and decoder. So at the data we have to, by using the encoding at the sender, data are converted to a digital signal. So here we have a 4-bit data or 8-bit data, so that will be converted as a digital signal by using the Manchester scheme. So at the receiver, the received signal is interpreted as Manchester and decoded into data. So this will be encoding scheme in a standard Ethernet implementation. And the 10 base 5 for 10 base 5 implementation, so the first implementation is called 10 base 5. This is called a thick Ethernet or thick net thick net. So the nickname of these devices from size of the cable, which is roughly the size of a garden hose and too stiff to bend with your hands. So the 10 base 5 was the first Ethernet specification to use bus topology with an external transceiver, that is the transmit receiver, connected via tap to a thick coaxial cable. So this transceiver is the responsible for transmitting, receiving and detecting collisions. So this transceiver is connected to the station via a transceiver cable, so that provides separate paths for sending and receiving. So this means that collision can only happen in the coaxial cable. So the maximum length of the coaxial cable must not exceed 500 meters, otherwise there is excessive degradation of the signal. So if length of more than 500 meters is needed, up to 5 segments each maximum of 500 meter can be connected using the repeaters. So by using the repeater, so this is the implementation of 10 base 5. So next one, 10 base 2 implementation. So in 10 base 2 also we have to use digital signal. So in this 10 base 2 we have 10 Mbps speed, and it may covers 185 meters. So this is the server, and we have to use the coaxial cable. So we have to connect from the source to destination, and it covers a maximum 185 meters. So we have in between that cable 1 to 1 we have to cover 10 base 2 setup. So the second implementation is called 10 base 2 thin. This is called as a thin internet or a cheaper net. So 10 base 2 is also uses a bus topology, but the cable is much thinner and more flexible. So the cable can be bent to pass very close to the stations. So in this case the transceiver is normally part of the network interface card, so which is installed inside the station. So it is also there will be a collision here occurs in this thin coaxial cable. So the implementation is more cost effective than 10 base 5, because thin coaxial cable is less expensive than thick coaxial, and the T connections are much cheaper than taps. So this installation is simpler because the thin coaxial cable is very flexible. However, the length of each segment cannot exceed 185 meters. So it will be close to 200 meters due to the high level of attenuation in thin coaxial cable. So this is about 10 base to thin Ethernet. This is called as a thin Ethernet. So next one, 10 base T implementation. So T is nothing but twisted pair Ethernet. So the speed of the 10 base 2 is 10 Mbps. So in this also we have to use the baseband digital signal, and it will be called as a twisted pair. So this is the third implementation. So is also called 10 base T or twisted pair Ethernet. So this 10 base 2 uses a physical star topology The stations are connected to a hub via two pairs of twisted cable. So note that the two pairs are twisted cable create two paths, one for sending and one for receiving. So between the stations and the hub, any collision here happens in the hub. The maximum length of the twisted cable here is defined as 100 meters. 100 meters. So to minimize the effect of attenuation in the twisted cable. So if any collision will be occurred, we have to twist or we have to minimize the cable length. Then the attenuation will be um, removed. The attenuation is also controlled by twisting the pair. So that's why you can call it as a 10 base T or twisted pair Ethernet. Twisted pair Ethernet. So next one, 10 base F implementation. So it is F is nothing but fiber Ethernet. So you can using the fiber in between the one station to another station. So the speed of this one is 10 Mbps. So for the twisted pair and the fiber is same speed, but here we have to use the medium as a fiber cable. So here we have to use the baseband signal. So although there are several types of optical fibers, so that may have 10 Mbps Ethernet, so the most common is called 10 base F. So this 10 base F uses a star topology to connect stations to hub. To stations to we have different stations, so we have to use two fiber optic cable to connect the different stations. So the stations are connected to the hub by using two fiber optic cables. So here we have different stations 1 and 2. So this will be connected to two fiber optic cable, and we can process that means the information will be transmitted as a digital signal, and the speed of this 10 base of is 10 Mbps. 10 Mbps. So here the summary of standard Ethernet implementations is, so here we have the characteristics and different characteristics are media, maximum length, and the line coding. So what is the media used in 10 base 5 is thick coaxial cable, and here 10 base 2 is thin coaxial cable. In 10 base 2 the physical medium used in 2 UTT, that is twisted pair, unshielded twisted pair, pairing the stations. And in 10 base F we have to use two fiber cables to connect the stations, and the maximum length for the 10 base 5 is 500 meters, for the 10 base 2 is 185 meters, and the 10 base T is 100 meters, and the 10 base F is 2000 meters. And the line coding in the all Ethernet standards are we have to use the Manchester coding and encoding and decoding. Manchester coding and encoding is nothing but, so we have convert the data or encoding and decode the data as a digital 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 signal. Next one, that is the changes in the standard is fast Ethernet. Fast Ethernet, that is the 10 Mbps standard Ethernet has gone through several changes before moving to the higher data rates. So these changes actually open the roads to the evolution of the Ethernet to become compatible with other high data rate LANs. Those are nothing but bridged Ethernet and the switched Ethernet and the full duplexed Ethernet. Full duplexed Ethernet. So here in this we have to share the bandwidth, and we have to network with and without a bridge. So what is a switched Ethernet and full duplexed switched Ethernet? So those are nothing but the fast Ethernet. So the fast Ethernet was designed to compete with the LAN protocols such as FDDI. So that is the FDDI is nothing but so whatever the fast Ethernet or a fiber channel. So this IEEE created fast Ethernet under the name 802.3U. So this fast Ethernet is a backward compatible with the standard Ethernet, but it can transmit the data 10 times faster at a rate of 100 Mbps. 100 Mbps. So this fast Ethernet was fast Ethernet topology may uses point-to-point topology or star topology. So it was designed to compete the LAN protocols by using a fiber channel. So the IEEE created fast Ethernet under the name 802.3U. So this fast Ethernet has backward compatible with standard Ethernet, but it can transmit data time 10 times faster at a rate of 100 Mbps. So the goals of fast Ethernet can be summarized as follows. So it can be upgrade the fast Ethernet can be upgrade the data rate to 10 or 100 Mbps, and it will make compatible with standard Ethernet, and it keeps the same 48-bit address and keep the same format. So it can be used fast Ethernet physical layer implementations. Those are nothing but 10 base 10 base TX 2 wires category of 5 UTP, and 100 base FX 2 wires fiber, and 100 base T4 4 wires category 3 UTP. So this encoding for fast Ethernet implementation. So and the summary of what fast Ethernet implementation is. So the in 10 base TX we have to use the media category 5 UTP or STP. In 100 base FX we have to use the media fiber media, and in 100 base T4 we have to use category 4 UTP, and the number of wires will be used in 100 base TX is 2. So in 100 base FX is also 2, and 100 base T4 4. So the maximum length of the 100 base TX is 100 meters. Both of in fast Ethernet that will be covers the maximum length is 100 meters, and the block encoding is 4 bits by 5 bits, and in 100 base FX also 4 bytes by 5 bits. So the line encoding in 100 base TX is MLT3, 100 base FX NRZ I, and 100 base T4 is 8 bytes per 60. So the gigabit Ethernet, so the need for even higher data rate resulted in the design of the gigabit Ethernet protocol. So that is gigabit is nothing but so the speed of the gigabit Ethernet is 1000 Mbps. So the IEEE commit calls the standard 802.3Z. So the committee will call it as 803.Z. So the goals of the gigabit Ethernet design can be it will be upgrade the data rate to 1 Gbps, and it will make it compatible with standard or fast Ethernet. So it uses the same 48-bit address, and it uses the same frame format. So it will keep the same minimum and maximum frame length. So it supports auto negotiations as defined in fast Ethernet. And this is about fast Ethernet and the gigabit. So in the full duplex mode of the gigabit Ethernet, there is no collision. So the maximum length of the cable is determined by the signal attenuation in the cable. So here we have the different topologies of gigabit Ethernet. So how we will connect. So in case of point to point, we can connect one station to another station, or we can use the star. So we can connect 3 more station, or you can use 2 stars and 2 switches. We can connect more than 6 network hierarchy of stars. So we can use 3 stars or 3 switches. So we can use more than 8 greater than 8 systems. So gigabit Ethernet implementations. So we have to implement by using different types. The summary of the gigabit Ethernet is, so here the medium in 10 base excessive fiber shortwave, in 1000 base LX fiber long wave, 1000 base CX STP, and the number of wires will be used in gigabit Ethernet is so 2 apart from the 1000 base T. So the maximum length of the 1000 base SX is 550 meters, and 1000 base LX is 5000 meters, and 1000 base CX is 25 meters, and 1000 base T is 100 meters. So the block encoding for apart 1000 base T is 8 bits for 10 bytes, and the line encoding will be used in NRZ encoding, NRZ non-return zero encoding, and in 1000 base T is we have to use 4D PAM5 type. So this is about different types of wired and wireless LAN networks. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe TVS Talks. Thank you. So you can follow us Twitter and the Facebook TVS Talks for you, and YouTube TVS Talks.